Hello everyone. Today I'm going to talk to you about how to add fractions with unlike denominators. You know, the first thing that we do when we do anything in math, there are steps that we have to follow. I have already listed some steps on the board of how we solve a fraction with two different denominators. Step 1, find the least common denominator of the fractions. In this problem right here, your denominator is located at the bottom of each fraction. If you notice, they are unlike. They are not the same. We can't do anything until we make those fractions have the same denominator. Step 2, write the equivalent fraction using the least common denominator. Step 3, add the fractions. Step 4, simplify if needed. We're going to take our problem and we're going to go through these 4 steps with our example problem here. I'll start by writing the fraction 4/8 plus 3/12. The first thing we're going to do, we're going to step to the side and we're going to find the least common denominator from our step 1 of our problem. You have 8 and 12. I'm going to list the least common multiples of both numbers. 8 is your first multiple, 16, 24, 32, 40. I'm going to stop there. I'm going to come and I'm going to look at the number 12 and I'm going to list the multiples of 12. 12, 24. Oh, I see some numbers that both of them have in common. These would be your least common multiples. Right now we only have 2. This would be your least common denominator, 24. Now we're going to move to step 2. We're going to write the equivalent fraction using the least common denominator. Here, in my mind, I'm thinking 12 times what will give me 24? 12 times 2. Whatever you do to the bottom, you always do to the top. 12 times 2 is 24. I'm going to do the same thing at the top. 3 times 2 is 6. I'm going to do the same thing to the fraction at the top. I'm going to ask myself, 8 times what gives me 24? 8 times 3. What I do to the bottom, I'm going to do to the top. 8 times 3 is 24. 4 times 3 is 12. Now, if you notice, my denominators are the same. Now, I went through step 1, 2, now I'm down to 3. The only thing I have to do now is add my numerators because my denominators are the same. 12 plus 6 gives me 18 over 24. Now, the next step says to simplify. I need to ask myself, 18 over 24, is it in the lowest form? Well, to be on the safe side, I always tell my students, let's see if it's into lowest terms. I'm going to do that by writing my factors up top. 1 times 18. 2 times 9 would give me 18. 3 times 6. 'Now I'm going to look at 24. We're going to do the exact same thing. 1, 24. Anything in the 2's. 2 times 12 gives you 24. Anything in the 3's. 3 times 8. Anything in the 4's. 4 times 6. With simplifying, we always look for the greatest common factor. Let's look through the list. The 1's are the same. The 2's are the same. The 3's are the same. Here we have the 6. So I'm going to take that 6 and I'm going to divide into both the numerator and the denominator, and that will give me my simplified problem. 6 goes into 18 3 times. 6 goes into 24. That is my final answer. 3/4. It is simplified because it is one number apart. I hope today I have answered your questions that you may have had about adding fractions with unlike denominators. If you need to rewatch the video, please feel free to do so. And once again, I hope I've answered all your questions. Thank you for tuning in.